My name is Sarah. I'm 28 years old now. But this story starts when I was 23. I was broke. Really broke. The kind of broke where you count coins for dinner. The kind where you avoid your landlord. The kind where you cry in grocery stores because you can't afford milk. I had just graduated college. Student loans crushed me. My degree in art history seemed useless. Nobody wanted to hire me. The few jobs I found paid almost nothing. My parents had their own problems. Dad lost his job. Mom was sick. I couldn't ask them for help. I felt so alone. I lived in a tiny apartment. The heat barely worked. The walls were thin. I could hear everything. My neighbors fighting. Cars honking. Life moving on without me. I worked 3 part-time jobs. Coffee shop in the morning. Retail in the afternoon. Waitressing at night. I was always tired. Always stressed. Always worried about money. My friends had moved on. They got good jobs. Nice apartments. They went out for drinks. I couldn't afford drinks. I couldn't afford anything. I felt invisible. Like the world had forgotten me. Like I didn't matter. That's when I met Richard. It was a Tuesday night. I was serving tables at an upscale restaurant. The kind of place I could never afford to eat at. Rich people came there. They wore expensive clothes. They talked about things I didn't understand. Richard sat alone at table 12. He was older. Maybe 55. Gray hair. Nice suit. He looked tired but kind. He ordered the most expensive wine. I was nervous serving him. My hands shook a little. He noticed. "Are you okay?" he asked. His voice was gentle. Not demanding like most customers. "I'm fine," I lied. "Just tired." He smiled. "Long day." I nodded. I couldn't help it. Tears started forming in my eyes. I was so embarrassed. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I shouldn't." "Don't apologize," he said. "We all have bad days." He left me $100 tip on a $60 meal. I stared at the money. I couldn't believe it. The next week he came back. Same table. Same kindness. This time we talked more. He asked about my life. My dreams. Nobody had asked me about my dreams in so long. I told him about my art history degree. How I wanted to work in a museum. How I felt stuck. He listened. Really listened. Not like he was waiting for his turn to talk. Like he actually cared. "I know some people in the art world," he said. "Maybe I could help." I should have been suspicious. But I was desperate. And he seemed genuine. Richard started coming to the restaurant every week. We talked more each time. He was divorced. No kids. He ran a successful business. Something with investments. He was lonely, he said. His ex-wife had taken everything. Not his money, but his friends, his social life, his purpose. After a month, he asked me out. Not for dinner. For coffee. "I know this might seem strange," he said. "The age difference. But I enjoy talking to you. You're smart. And kind. And you see the world differently than people in my circles." I said yes. What did I have to lose? Coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into long walks. He showed me parts of the city I'd never seen. Museums. Art galleries. Beautiful places. He never made me feel poor. He paid for everything, but quietly. Naturally. Like it was nothing. For the first time in years, I felt valued. Interesting. Worth something. 3 months later, he made me an offer. I have a proposition, he said. We were walking through Central Park. Fall leaves everywhere. It was beautiful. I'm listening, I said. Marry me. I stopped walking. What? I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'm lonely. You're struggling. We get along well. We could help each other. My heart was racing. Richard, I'm not talking about love, he said quickly. Not romantic love, but companionship, partnership. I could take care of your money problems, your student loans, help you find a job in the art world. All I want is someone to come home to, someone to talk to, someone who cares. I stared at him. Like a business arrangement? Like a mutually beneficial relationship. No pressure for anything physical. Separate bedrooms if you want. Just partnership. I thought about my empty apartment, my 3 jobs, my crushing debt, my loneliness. What about love? I asked. What if I meet someone? Then we'll figure it out, he said. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm trying to help us both. I should have said no, should have walked away, but I was drowning. He was offering me a life preserver. Okay, I whispered. We got married 6 weeks later. Small ceremony. Just us and 2 witnesses. It felt surreal. Richard kept his promises. He paid off my student loans. All of them. $60,000. Gone. He bought me clothes. Nice clothes. The kind I'd only dreamed of owning. He got me an interview at the Metropolitan Museum. I got the job. Assistant curator. My dream job. His house was beautiful. Huge. More space than I knew what to do with. I had my own room, my own bathroom, everything I needed. But I felt like a fraud. At work, people assumed we were a normal couple. A love story. I played along. It was easier than explaining. How did you meet? They'd ask. At the restaurant where I worked, I'd say. True, but not the whole truth. My co-workers envied me. Rich husband, dream job, beautiful house. They thought I had it all. But at night, I lay in my big empty bed and felt hollow. Richard was kind. Always kind. He never demanded anything from me. Never pushed for more than I wanted to give. We had dinner together most nights. We talked about work, about art, about books. He was intelligent, interesting, but it wasn't real. It wasn't love. I started to feel guilty. He was giving me everything. What was I giving him? You're giving me companionship, he said when I brought it up. You're giving me purpose, someone to care about. But I could see the loneliness in his eyes. The same loneliness I'd felt before. 6 months into our marriage, things started to change. Richard's business was struggling. He tried to hide it, but I could tell. He worked longer hours, took more phone calls, looked more stressed. Is everything okay? I asked one night over dinner. Just work stuff, he said, but his smile was forced. I felt terrible. He was supporting me completely, and I couldn't help him. I was just another expense. My job was going well. I was learning, growing, but the pay was modest. Not enough to support myself, let alone contribute to our household. I started to wonder if I was using him, taking advantage of his kindness. At the same time, I was getting attention from other men. At work, at gallery openings, men my own age, men who looked at me like a woman, not a charity case. There was David, another curator. He was smart, funny, close to my age. He asked me out for coffee. I can't, I said. I'm married. Happily, he asked. I didn't know how to answer. Richard and I never talked about what our marriage really was. To the outside world, we were husband and wife. But what were we to each other? The guilt was eating me alive. I was living a lie. Multiple lies. I wasn't in love with Richard, but I cared about him. He was good to me, better than anyone had ever been. But was that enough? Was gratitude enough to build a life on? 8 months after our wedding, Richard's business collapsed. Bad investments, a partner who stole money, legal problems. Everything fell apart quickly. He tried to hide it from me, but I could see the bills piling up, the stress on his face, the phone calls from lawyers. One night, I found him in his study. He was staring at papers, his head in his hands. "Richard," I said softly. He looked up. His eyes were red. He'd been crying. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm so sorry, Sarah." "What's wrong?" "I'm going to lose everything. The house, the investments, maybe even face charges. I don't know how this happened so fast." My heart broke for him. This kind man who had saved me was drowning. "What can I do?" I asked. "Nothing. There's nothing anyone can do. I'll have to declare bankruptcy. We'll lose the house. I can't support you anymore. I can't even support myself." I sat down across from him. "We'll figure it out." "No," he said. "You don't understand. I can't give you the life I promised. You should leave. Find someone who can actually love you, who can give you what you deserve." "Richard, this was a mistake," he said. "I was selfish. I trapped you in this arrangement. You're young, beautiful. You should be with someone your own age, someone who loves you properly." I felt something crack inside my chest. Not heartbreak, exactly, but something close. "Is that what you want?" I asked. "For me to leave?" He was quiet for a long time. "I want you to be happy. And I don't think you can be happy with me. Especially not now." That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked around the house. Our house. The place that had been my sanctuary. I thought about leaving, going back to my old life, finding my own way. But then I thought about Richard, alone in this big house, losing everything, having nobody. I thought about our dinners together, our conversations, the way he listened to me, the way he made me feel valued. Was that love? Maybe not romantic love, but something real. The next morning, I made Richard breakfast. He looked surprised. "You don't have to take care of me," he said. "Especially not now." "I want to," I said. We ate in silence for a while. Then I spoke. "I've been thinking about what you said last night." He put down his fork. "Sarah, you don't have to." "Let me finish," I said. "You're right. This started as an arrangement, a business deal. But it's become something else. At least for me." He looked confused. "I do love you," I said. "Maybe not the way movies show love. But I love talking to you. I love having dinner with you. I love that you listen to me. I love that you're kind. I love that you saw something in me when I couldn't see it myself." Tears were forming in his eyes. "I don't want to leave," I continued. "I want to stay. Through this. Through whatever comes next." Not because I owe you, but because I choose you. But I can't give you anything now, he whispered. You've already given me everything that matters. You believed in me. You helped me believe in myself. You showed me I was worth something. I reached across the table and took his hand. Let me give something back. Let me be here for you. Let me choose to stay. He cried then, really cried. And I held his hand and cried with him. The next few months were the hardest of our marriage. Richard lost the house. We moved into a small apartment, not much bigger than my old place. He was embarrassed, ashamed. He felt like he'd failed me. But something beautiful happened in that tiny apartment. We became real partners. I kept my job at the museum. My salary wasn't much, but it helped. Richard found work as a financial consultant. He was starting over, but he was talented. People began to trust him again. We cooked together in our tiny kitchen. We talked late into the night on our small couch. We shared everything. Money, chores, dreams, fears. One night, about 3 months after we moved, we were watching a movie. Some romantic comedy. Richard made a joke about the plot. I laughed. And then, without thinking, I leaned over and kissed him. It wasn't planned. It wasn't calculated. It just happened. He kissed me back. Gently, carefully. When we broke apart, we stared at each other. Was that okay? I whispered. More than okay, he said. That night, for the first time, we slept in the same bed. Not because we had to, because we wanted to. 2 years later, Richard's business was thriving again. We could have moved back to a big house, but we stayed in our small apartment. We liked being close to each other. I got promoted at the museum. Senior curator. Richard was so proud. He came to every exhibition opening. He learned about art just to support my passion. People still sometimes commented on our age difference, but it mattered less now. We'd found something real together. Something that worked. Our marriage wasn't traditional. It didn't start with love. But it grew into love, a different kind of love, built on respect and partnership and choice. We talked about our unusual beginnings sometimes. Richard would apologize for trapping me. You didn't trap me, I'd tell him. You saved me, and then I chose to save you back. We renewed our vows on our 3rd anniversary. Same small ceremony, but this time, the words meant something different. I choose you, I said in my vows. Not because I need you, but because I want you. Because you make my life better. Because you see me. Because you believe in me. Because you love me. Richard cried during his vows. You taught me that love isn't just about finding the right person, he said. It's about becoming the right person. For each other. Together. Now, 5 years later, we're expecting our first child. A little girl. We're both nervous and excited. Richard will be an older father. People will probably assume he's the grandfather. We've decided we don't care. We know our story isn't typical. We know people might judge us, might think our beginning was wrong. But we also know what we've built together. A partnership. A family. A love that's real, even if it started as something else. My job is going well. Richard's business is stable. We have a house now. Not as big as his first one, but perfect for us. We host dinner parties. Richard cooks. I choose the wine. We tell stories. We laugh together. Our friends see us as a team, a couple who supports each other, who builds each other up. And that's what we are. I think about my 23-year-old self sometimes. So desperate. So alone. So afraid. I wish I could tell her that everything would work out, that she would find someone who would see her worth, that she would find a career she loved, that she would find happiness. But I also know she wouldn't believe me. She was too broken then, too scared. The path to happiness isn't always straight. Sometimes it starts in strange places. Sometimes it begins with desperation rather than love. But that doesn't make it less real, less valuable, less worth fighting for. Richard and I didn't start with a fairy tale. We started with honesty, with mutual need, with practical solutions to real problems. But we built something beautiful from that practical beginning. We chose each other every day. We grew together. We became better people because of each other. I learned that love isn't just about butterflies and passion. It's about showing up, about choosing someone again and again, about building a life together, piece by piece. Richard taught me I was worth loving, worth investing in, worth believing in. And I taught him that love could be found in unexpected places, with unexpected people, at unexpected times. Our daughter will grow up knowing she was wanted, planned for, that her parents chose each other deliberately. That love can grow from the smallest seeds if you water it with kindness and commitment. If you've ever felt like me, desperate, alone, afraid you'll never find love or happiness, you're not alone. Your path might not look like everyone else's. Your love story might not start the way movies show love stories starting. But that doesn't make it less real, less valid, less beautiful. Sometimes the best relationships grow from honest conversations about what you both need, about how you can help each other, about what you can build together. Don't let other people's expectations define your happiness. Don't let society's rules limit your choices. Love comes in many forms. Partnership comes in many styles. Happiness comes from many sources. What matters is finding someone who sees your worth, who believes in your dreams, who chooses you and who you choose back. What matters is building something real together, something that makes both of your lives better. If you're struggling, if you're alone, if you feel invisible, hold on. Your story isn't over. Your person might be closer than you think. Your happiness might come from an unexpected direction. Be open to possibilities. Be honest about your needs. Be brave enough to choose love, even when it doesn't look the way you expected. You deserve partnership. You deserve someone who sees you. You deserve happiness. And if you find it in an unconventional way, with an unconventional person, at an unconventional time, that's okay. That's your story. That's your life. That's your love. Make it count. If you've ever felt like me, you're not alone. Your happiness is out there, waiting for you to find it. And when you do, it will be worth everything you went through to get there.